Today we're continuing our lesson on simple interest by taking it into the technology lab and building a spreadsheet. In this lesson, students will use a computer spreadsheet to calculate simple interest. And as you see, it follows along with our Kansas State math standards. It also is incorporating some of the new Common Core standards that we're going to be learning. And then there are the technology standards for the student and the teacher that are also incorporated in this lesson. The objective for today is for the 7th grade math student to design a computer spreadsheet that will calculate simple interest for 5 different values of principal. And then you will be analyzing the results using 7 questions about the spreadsheet. And I anticipate that you will get at least 6 out of the 7 correct. Before the lesson today, I signed up for the computer lab so that we could have our portable technology lab. And the directions for the activity have been printed out, as well as the 7-question assessment, so that you'll have that to look at after this presentation. You will be building a 5-column spreadsheet. You're going to populate the spreadsheet with 5 different principal amounts, and you will be entering formulas for the remaining 4 columns. After that, you will analyze the results using the 7-question assessment. I have made some adaptations for those who have more difficulty learning and for those of you who are gifted. As we go around the class, as we have the lesson today, I'll go around the classroom as you're working to make sure that you're understanding the instructions and that you're building the spreadsheet properly. And after we get done with the presentation, then you're going to be analyzing the spreadsheet using a partner, answering the questions correctly. Now it's time, as you've been waiting, to log into your laptop. You can select Excel to open a blank spreadsheet. And then in just a few minutes, I will have a video presentation so that you'll know what to do once your spreadsheet's open. Okay, we are ready to begin. I know you've been anxious. So let's begin by highlighting columns A through E. And we're going to increase the size of the column. So go to Format, Column, Width. And when the little pop-up screen appears, we're going to change it to 15. This way our column is wide enough to receive all of our formulas. We'll click on row 1 of column A, and we're going to type in that heading, Principal. Tab over to column B to enter Rate. Column C is Time. Column D is Interest, and finally, column E is New Balance. Now you know how I am. I like to keep things nice and neat and orderly, so let's highlight those titles, center them. Let's change the font. Times New Roman is so much easier to read, and it's what a lot of your papers are required to be. And so let's just get used to going down. They're in alphabetical order. There it is. And let's change the size of this font to 12. While I have this highlighted, I'm going to make those titles pop out a little more by bolding them. Now, in order to easily separate our rows and our columns, we're going to highlight column A1 through E15. Go over here to this little box and click on the arrow, and we'll hit the box with all the little lines. Now we have a nice, neat spreadsheet we can begin to populate. So why have we developed this spreadsheet? Well, our activity today reads that Max plans on opening a Young Savers account at his bank. The current rate on the account is 4%. He wants to see how different starting balances, rates, and times will affect his account balance. To find the balance at the end of 2 years for different principal amounts, he enters the values in column B, row 3, he's going to put equals 4. And in column C, row 3, he's going to put a 2. Now remember, the spreadsheet you're designing today uses the same formula for simple interest that you used on yesterday's lesson on simple interest. Now, as you see, I have the columns listed up above and our titles as you've entered them. And now I want you to start populating the spreadsheet. So as you see, I've got the different principal rates listed, and then the rate listed for column B, put equals B3 divided by 100. That's going to be our percentage, because if you remember, we always write a percent over 100. Our time is equal to C3 because we're in column C and we're going to begin with row 3. Here is the formula for interest. Notice it changes with each row, but this will automatically calculate for our column D and our column E, so that once we enter our numbers in these two columns, the D and E will automatically fill in. Next, I have listed the 7 questions that you're going to be answering, which you can work with your shoulder partner to answer these questions. You also have a printout that I handed you as you came into the classroom today. Then there's our final summary. You think 2% is not very much for an interest rate, and that's pretty much the going savings account interest rate. So let's look at this problem just to give you a little something to think about. If I give you 1 penny one day to the next day and keep doubling it for 1 month, how much money would it equal? Now we're going to assume that you'll take this out to 30 days because there's an average of 30 days in a month. You think a penny is not very much. You get only 1 penny your first day to your next. Now on day 7 you end up with 64 cents. Now let's look at days 8 through 23. Oh my, day 8 we go from $1.28 to over $41,000 on day 23. Let's see how the rest of the month plays out. Look at day 30, will you? Now that's just what you get paid on day 30. Now if you add days 1 through 30 together, your total is going to be $10,737,418.24. Oh my goodness, that's a pretty good month's wages, don't you think? So a little bit adds up. Here I've listed the references where I got my information for the lesson, and also for our standards and for our little summary question at the end. You all have a good time working this lesson, and if you have any questions, please raise your hand. I'll come over and help you out.